Hello everyone, welcome back. Thank you so much for stopping by. On today's menu we are making fish stew, also known as Fante Fante. Let's get started. So I have my onion, ginger root and garlic cloves. I'm also adding rosemary and some parsley flakes. I added a little bit of water to it. This is to make it easier to blend. So this is what I'm going to use to season the fish. You could add more or take out if you don't like any of this. Just use your preferred seasoning to season the fish. And these are the fish I'm going to be using. I have here tilapia, some pompano fish. I also have some croaker fish and mackerel. These fish are all washed and clean. Also, you don't have to use this type of fish if you don't like them. Use any fish of your choice. Sometimes I might use just one fish, maybe just tilapia or just the croaker or whatever fish that I prefer. But today I just wanted to like use different kinds just to bring all that different kinds of flavors into the stew. Also make sure you wrap all the seasoning around the fish to make sure everything is well coated. And yeah, I'm gonna cover this and let this marinate for about 40 minutes in the refrigerator. I have here my washed tomatoes. I took out the seed. You could leave the seed if you prefer. I have here a half large onion and my scotch bonnet pepper. The scotch bonnet pepper is to your preference. I just like a lot of scotch bonnet pepper, like spiciness when I'm making fish stew. And I have about 3 garlic cloves. I also have about 1 thumb size ginger root. I'm going to be blending the vegetables and this seasoning together. That is the anise, parsley flakes, and the rosemary. And this is how it look after I blended them. In a pan, I had my red oil that is almost hot, and I'm adding my sliced onions to it. I fried this for about 1 to 2 minutes under medium-low heat, and after that, I'm gonna be adding my blended vegetables. After adding your blended vegetables, you want to make sure you stir it to make sure everything is well mixed together. I'm also going to be adding tomato sauce. Yeah, this is optional. I don't always add it. I just saw it in my punch. I'm like, why not? So you don't have to if you don't have it. It just brings some taste and flavor to your stew. And make sure you give it a stir after you add your tomato sauce to it. I covered this halfway and I let it cook for about 20 to 25 on the medium heat, and this is going to reduce its moisture after that time. And this is how it's looking after 25 minutes, and as you can see, most of the moisture from the tomatoes has evaporated, and that's how I like making my stew. I just added dried herrings to it. The dried herrings is optional too. You don't have to add it if you don't have it or you don't like it. It just brings another flavor, and I love that flavor it brings to the stew. I just added chili powder to it. Yes, I like it really spicy. The scotch bonnet pepper wasn't doing it for me. It wasn't hot enough, so I added more chili powder to it. I'm also adding shrimp powder. Also, I added star cube. Use any seasoning of your choice. Give it a stir to make sure all your seasoning are well mixed together in your stew. And if you need a little bit of salt, you could add it at this point. And yes, I did. So I added a little bit of salt to it. And always make sure you add your seasoning first before the salt, because some of the seasoning have salt in it. You don't want to add too much salt to mess up your food. Cover this and let it cook for additional 5 minutes before I'm going to be adding my fish. Anytime I'm making fish stew, I make sure my stew is well seasoned, because after adding the fish, I'm not going to be stirring it. So I make sure the stew is the way I want it. The taste is good. Everything is okay with salt and seasoning before adding the fish, because when you add your fish, you don't want to be stirring it here and there. Otherwise, you're going to mess up your fish. It's all going to tear apart. And this is how the fish is looking. Yes, I covered this, let it cook for about 15 minutes under medium heat. And yes, I'm not using a spoon to stir it. This is how you want to stir your Fante Fante or your fish stew when you're using fresh fish. I'm using my spatula to just make sure it's not like sticking to each other. Make sure there's like space. And yeah, anytime you're making stews like this, you also want to use like a wide part because you don't want the fish to like sit on each other, otherwise it's gonna like tear apart. And this is how it's looking so far. So good. I covered this and let it cook for additional 15 minutes under low heat. After 15 minutes, I gave it another stir like that. And yes, my stew, it is done. It's looking really good. The fish is well cooked. And one more thing, I added some sliced onion. After adding the sliced onions, I turned the heat off. And yes, our stew, it is ready to serve. You could have this fish stew with some boiled rice, with some cassava, with some plantain, with some yam, with some gari, banku kenkey, and yes, I'm having it with some kenkey today. And look how the fish are also intact, they're not tearing apart. Yeah, the trick is make sure you shake it in the pot. Make sure you don't use a spoon to stir it a lot, otherwise all your fish are gonna tear apart. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching this recipe. I hope you learned something new. I hope you give this recipe a try, and I know you're gonna love it. Also, please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't, and please give me a thumbs up on this video if you enjoyed it. Until I come your way next time, this is Cook with Kenkey. Be good to yourself, be good to everyone. It goes a long way.